thanks everybody who has joined us a little bit early, and we'll get started here real quickly. So just curious. So some of you probably know this, but within kind of our organization, there's a number of software solutions, and they all, not all of them, but a lot of them send out like a monthly newsletter. And I've started doing that. You guys are probably getting that. But one of kind of the divisions of the company is, it's called Like So, and they service mostly quilt shops and sew shops and things of that nature. And the general manager over Like So, in his monthly newsletter, he always sends out some information, like personal information about like what's going on with his family, like his wife, and vacations that they maybe are going on, or what they're doing for the holidays. And they love it. The customer population like loves hearing that stuff about him, and so they keep asking me, well, why don't you add that kind of information in your newsletter? And I'm like, believe me, music stores have no interest in knowing what my wife and my 3 children are going to be doing for Easter weekend. So I spare those kind of boring details for you guys. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. Maybe if I heard from a bunch of people saying, hey, we want the Harnoys family update, maybe I would put something in there. But I thought maybe just kind of kick us off just real quickly. And you guys can reply in the chat. I think you should be able to chat in there. But just curious, 2 things, and then we'll get started with it. Number 1, where is your store located physically? And then number 2, what is your main genre of musical interest? What do you listen to? Right. So I'll start. We're based out of Provo, Utah. It's about an hour south of Salt Lake City. And right now, this is cheesy to admit. I grew up in the 90s, and I'm kind of still stuck there. And I got really into skate punk is what it's called. So there's this band called Lagwagon. They're out of the Bay Area, or actually Santa Barbara. So I guess not the Bay Area, but the record label's in the Bay Area. And that's my favorite band. And that's what I still listen to this day. And it's really kind of embarrassing. So I don't tell a lot of people that, but that is what I listen to. Chat is disabled. All right. I'm getting that in the Q&A. Okay. So put it in the Q&A. Mike found the workaround as usual. Mike's good at finding workarounds. So put it in the Q&A where you're located, and what's in your CD player, your record player, your 8-track player. We'll see if we get some in there, and I'll get this slideshow started as well. We got, some real quiet folks today too, not wanting to share what their musical interests are. Oh, Josh. All right. Josh coming in. He's in the Dallas Fort Worth area. He loves ska punk. Okay. So, Josh, you and I have done some video calls. You may have seen me wearing a Dill Records hoodie, and Dill Records is like one of the prime ska punk labels. So they did like Skink and Pickle, Slapstick, who has gone on to like, push out a bunch of different bands like Alkaline Trio and stuff like that. So Mike, coming in a little bit heavier than the ska punk. So he's coming in with Megadeth and Blind Melon, which you don't usually find those two in the same sentence, I don't think, but that's good. So Mike's a true Renaissance man, both Blind Melon and Megadeth. Okay, nobody else wants to volunteer. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. All right. So Michael, that was from Michael about the ska punk stuff. So, okay, let's get started. So just want to kick it off with a few housekeeping notes. Oh, feel free to keep putting in the where you're at and your favorite bands. I like finding that out. It's fun. So some housekeeping notes here. So NAMM, we've got NAMM coming up next week. We're excited about NAMM. Hope everybody is excited about NAMM as well. It'll be interesting. Last year was quite a bit slower. So hopefully this year picks up a little bit. I think we're still struggling to get some of the big manufacturers out there, which is kind of disheartening, but hopefully, and I don't know what the schedule is. Maybe they'll do NAMM in January again. I think it's just better have it in January. You get all the product launches for the year and everything like that. So hopefully it picks up a little bit, maybe this year, and then really in earnest next year. But just so everybody knows, we will be at NAMM. We're in booth 8007. Clientbook, who is our guest today, they are situated very, very close to us. They're in 8008, or I'm sorry, 8005. And then my music staff, who we've also done a webinar with, they're going to be in booth 9710. So they got the boot. They're quite a bit further away, but come by, say hello. We will service folks out there. So if you need help with anything, you'll be able to sit down with someone. He does have Matthew Lau, who some of you have probably worked with, is going to be running most of this support. We do have another individual out there as well, but schedule a time with him. If you need the Calendly link to schedule with him, just send me an email or get to me on Slack, or call in and we can get that Calendly over to you. One of the features we're going to be releasing out at NAMM, which we're probably most excited about, is online school rentals. It is now in open beta. You probably saw some notifications for it on the system login as well. It's fantastic. It is totally a big change from the way we were doing online school rentals previously. And it really is kind of what you would need and expect to have in a modern point of sale system, being able to customize really everything for every school and teacher and district, having associated products and add-ons, unique to each school and district. So it's fantastic, and you guys are going to love it. The fulfillment side is cool too, being able to schedule like school pickup and stuff like that. So it's awesome. So definitely swing by the booth and we can kind of give you a demo of that too. So you can see that it is live. You can go in and turn it on, start playing with it and get it ready to go for rental season, which is coming up. I didn't put it on here as well, but we do have another really great announcement that we'll be making out at NAMM as well, regarding really advanced like work order management stuff. So if you're doing a high volume of work order service and repair, again, make sure you swing by and we can kind of chat about that as well. We'll announce it out there, but we need to do a lot of education on it. So and then we are, just to kind of round out this online school rental thing, we are going to be doing a webinar post NAMM as well. So we'll do some education that way. All right. So today we're excited to have Clientbook on with us. There's a few reasons why we really wanted to partner with Clientbook. And so you're probably wondering, why are we chatting with Clientbook? What is it about Clientbook that's of interest to us and therefore, for you guys? And so a couple of the reasons behind it is music stores, with our system, and you guys know this, it's fairly limited as far as CRM stuff goes, customer relations management. You can mark customers as leads and things of that nature, but there's nothing really driving your outreach, your proactive outreach to customers. And so we've had that requested a lot. We're going to hear about a little bit of that today. Ryan's going to chat about that. But that's one of the big reasons. Another thing is that managers and owners have always requested more visibility on being able to see, well, what is it that my sales associates are doing? We have these customers come in, they go walking out the door. I don't know what kind of follow-up's being done, that sort of thing. And then the real big one is, kind of post entry level instruments. A lot of times they're going to require a significantly higher level of customer service to get those moving out the door as quick as you'd like them to. And again, you've been pretty limited with what the point of sale system offers. Now, keep in mind, point of sale systems generally aren't designed to be a CRM or anything like that. So that's never been kind of our bread and butter, but it is with Clientbook, and you're going to see that today. And so I'm excited to kind of show you what's going on there. Okay. So we, let's see here. Oh, Maria chimed in. She's with El Cajon Guitars. They're in San Diego. Maria, we're excited to see you out at NAMM. And you guys are selling guitars and accessories. Yes, you are. So yeah, we're excited to see you guys out at NAMM as well. But with that, why don't we get started? I'm going to kick it over to Ryan here momentarily. A couple of things I wanted to answer right out of the gate. What does the integration between Clientbook and Music Shop 360 do? So just so you know, kind of what we're doing on our end. is we're pushing all of our customers and all of our products over into Clientbook for you guys to then do your clienteling through Clientbook itself. Okay. The other really cool thing that it does is it allows you to create and manage wish lists that are unique to individual customers. So if you have somebody coming in, they're looking for a boutique guitar, or somebody shopping for a birthday gift or holiday gift or whatever, you can create individual wish lists unique to each customer, and those will also share over into QuickBooks, Clientbook, and Clientbook. You'll be able to manage those with those specific customers. Your sales associates will know exactly what is of interest to those customers and be able to push that. Okay, so let me go ahead and introduce our guest today. So this is Ryan. He is the VP of Sales and Business Development at Clientbook, so we're excited to hear from him. One of my favorite things about having Ryan with us today is he is a small business owner as well, and I think that's one thing that's always been challenging with these webinars is we need somebody kind of in your seat, right? Somebody who knows what it is to go in the day in and day out of operating a business. And Ryan brings that to the table, which I'm super excited about to kind of get his perspective on that. And so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my screen share, and then I'll kick it over to Ryan to get his started here. So, and let me see if I can.
Great. Well, one, thanks for having me on. So appreciate the time to speak with Music 360 users, and yes, for those that just meeting me, I'm a small business owner. I've been in retail for the last 20 years, and it's actually how I got started with Clientbook, was just a user. And so a lot of that I'll share with you today as we go through this presentation. So we want to talk about why we partnered together, Shop 360 and Clientbook. But really, in order to do that, I want to tell you a bit more about who we are as a company and what our mission is. First and foremost, we're built for retail. Just like your point of sale system is, whereas a lot of other products on the market, they're built for a whole host of different industries, where everything Clientbook is built for the independent retailer. And it's because we believe that building long-term relationships with clients is really just paramount to success in today's retail environment. That maximizing every sales opportunity is going to be so important this year and the years to come, as probably this COVID kind of boom comes to an end and normal selling begins again. In order to do that, we need to enable sales associates for success in our stores, enable ourselves for success, really. And lastly, to scale personalized service. This to me has always been at the heart of what, scaling personalized service has really always been at the heart of what I felt my own retail business needed to do. In kind of the retail landscape, there's these behemoths out there that occupy a lot of the market, and us as independents, it's really hard to match them on marketing spend or footprint or different things that they're good at. Yet scaling personalized service, the attentiveness that we give our clients, is usually something that we're pretty good at and we're better than them. But our ability to scale sometimes is challenging. And just to reemphasize these points, I'd like to share a few stats as we go over this, because I think there's this shift in consumer behavior to really liking the kind of high level of service, personalization that we as independents provide the market. And I won't read every one of these, but just a few kind of resonate to me, which is, close to 80% of customers now will only engage with personalized offers. So all the marketing that's kind of flooding their inbox really doesn't resonate with them anymore. It needs to be really more personalized to them. And that your existing customers tend to spend more than new customers just walking through the door. It's not to say that you shouldn't worry about new customer acquisition, you should. But if you're not marketing and clienteling to your existing client base, you really wind up, missing the mark and leaving a lot of money on the table there. And just another thing here is that when they come in, they tend to convert really easy. So they spend more and they convert 2 times that of kind of new customers that were walking through your door. So there's a lot of reason to want to do these things. And when we think about the kind of activities that you might do to ensure that this happens in your stores, I mean, the list is long and it's kind of intimidating. I won't read all these off to you, but new inventory coming in, following up with customers, really getting them back into the door. This is if you're a general music store or school rental, there's all these different follow-up opportunities that we know if we did, it will likely increase the business. Yet when we sit with people on a demonstration and we ask them, how many of these are sales associates currently doing in the store right now, we get a lot of kind of uneven or really mixed answers in that. Well, I have one person that does this, or we just don't have the time. I mean, that's probably the number one thing that we hear. It's just, yeah, I would like to do all these things. I realize it would increase my business, but we just don't have the time. And for us, it's all about doing this. If we combine the right message with the right person at the right time of those opportunities that we just saw, you're likely going to have kind of an exchange with them that creates an opportunity for the store. I mean, so this really is the formula, but it's hard to get to here. There's a lot of problems in the current landscape of getting clienteling done. And this is when I'll start to speak to our partnership with Music Shop 360, is that we can kind of eliminate this friction. But here's the current state that most people find themselves in. And in order to do all those things that we just talked about, this high level of service and clienteling to people, they tend to have to navigate a bunch of different things in order to get it done. So you have their great point of sale system, like you guys have. Maybe they got some stuff on Post-it notes, or Google Sheets, or physical notebooks. They got third-party messengers out there, and they kind of have to snap all that together somehow in order to clientele efficiently. And what happens is associates really can't navigate this. So if you have employees on there that you're telling them to clientele, this is a tough thing for them to go through and actually have the time to do. And managers and owners out there, you really can't see into it, and you have no kind of transparency on, did it happen? How did it look? So this creates the problem where it simply can't get done. With Clientbook and Music Shop 360, our partnership, we kind of eliminate this friction that's out there, because now we have access to all the great rich point of sale data that is in the system, and combine that with a clienteling tool like Clientbook, and we're able to solve this problem. And really it takes 4 things to solve it. It's number one, putting all the information in one place instead of it being siloed like it was. 2 is, just like your point of sale, we've built this technology to be very easy to use, very retail friendly. We understand this is going to be in the hands of retail sales associates primarily, and it needs to have a really simple user interface. 3, we have to automate some of these time consuming tasks. It is in retail, and like I said, that's my background. You don't have the time. There's a lot of things that you would want to do if you had the time, but you simply just don't allow for it. So automation has to play a key. And then we have to understand and have insights into what happened. So reporting really comes into play here. So that's really how we solve this problem for music stores. Both Taylor and I together believe we could remove that friction. I'll just highlight a few things from the product, and then we could have, of course, have some time to do some Q&A. But really, this is what Clientbook looks like, is we're going to take that customer data and we're going to put it all in one place. And it's going to be accessible through, your personal iPhone, or maybe it's an iPad or a web version, but all that customer data, it's going to be in one easy to access place, sales history, wish list, notes, all in one area. And we're also, along with that customer profile, going to centralize the messaging and the back and forth communication with that client. So now we don't have to go to two places. We don't have to go, I have to go into my point of sale to find that out, and then I have to go either text on my personal device or a third-party messenger. We're going to put it all in one place so that we can easily access it and jump in and start clienteling. We are going to build data or automations off the great data that you've harvested in your point of sale. And what that means to us is we could remind you to reach out to the right customer. We could even automate that reach out for you. Like I said, the right message at the right time to the right person will kick off kind of a series of events that will lead to more sales for the business. As Tyler said, we're going to upload all your inventory. So within a press of a button, you can share a collection. You can start making product suggestions to your customers. And all of these things that were cumbersome, now we're increasing the speed. If we increase the speed, we know we were going to get this done and reach out to customers better. We also help with Google reviews if you'd like to utilize this part of it. We understand that reviews are a big part of clienteling. We just think that it's a part of clientele. It's not the whole thing, right? But it is an important part of capturing that feedback from our guests. We can collect payments via text to pay as well. Really just trying to close the loop on, hey, if we reached out to you, it was the right time, we shared product, you said we'll take it, you know, we could have you come into the store, we could just collect payment real quickly as well. We can send out campaigns in the form of mass messaging, but the way that we do it is a bit different in that we could target a very segmented part of your client list and craft a really personalized message, put their name in it, various other things. So it really comes off like it's a one-to-one message. And that's the kind of the secret to this. As we saw previously, people only want to respond when it feels personalized to them. And this enables people to do that. I think tracking sales opportunities, maybe we're not tracking them every single time, but for those that are selling kind of high average ticket items out of the store, sales opportunity comes into play that you might not make that sale just in that moment. But if you followed up with that sale, if you followed up with that lead more efficiently, chances are you're the store that's going to get that sale because you're the only one that followed up. And we call those sales opportunities. Ultimately, what this does is it really gains visibility into how to track clienteling, how to get clienteling going in your stores. Being able to report on it is a big part of that. It's a big part of the ability to manage something is the ability to measure it. And Clientbook, since everything is now taking place in this easy-to-use app, there's now reporting and insights that come out of it that's helpful to all businesses. So we're really excited about this partnership with Taylor. We couldn't do it without them because we have to partner with the kind of best point of sale systems in the industry to unlock the power of Clientbook. And we're very grateful for the relationship we have there and the integration that we built out. It's one thing for me to show you slides of this. It's another thing for you to experience it personalized to your store and your current situation. So you can go to demo.clientbook.com and fill out a form for us and you'll get a personalized demo. And but as mentioned previously, we're going to be in NAMM in just a short period of time. Our booths are right next to one another. And within 10, 15 minutes, you can get a demo of Clientbook and really have an understanding of the value that we're bringing retailers. So hopefully I didn't speed through that too quickly, but I wanted to leave us some time for some Q&A at the end here. If anybody had any questions about what we're doing, you stop my share.
Yeah, thanks for running through that for us. So yeah, we are super excited about this just to bring that next level of customer service, make that available to our stores. The stores that are using Music Shop 360. We feel like that's one of the pieces that has just kind of been missing for us is that clienteling piece. Now, one of the things that was interesting to me is, and you mentioned this, the sales opportunity side. Like we talked about, is it's one thing to just kind of anybody can walk into the store and buy a Fender Squire off the rack, and you're a beginner player, no big deal, right? Maybe that's not somebody we need to chase and follow up on that. But I'll tell you, when we do these higher end models, or you have somebody who's really trying to pick between different models or versions or manufacturers, whatever the case might be, that level of customer service is just the piece that is really missing for stores that are struggling, right? We have a chance at Music Shop, obviously, to talk to a lot of retailers. The one theme that is consistent is the way that I'm successful is my customers know when they walk through the door, they're going to talk to a subject matter expert. I know what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to have a really fantastic customer experience as well. Okay. So I hope everybody kind of caught what's happening here. So somebody comes in, this is going to empower your sales associates to have one-on-one direct follow-up with every customer who walks through the door, and be invested in those customers as much as you would like them to be. Okay. And then from your perspective as the shop owner or the manager, it gives you a chance to have visibility on what those activities are, how the follow-up's going, did we move the product? And then with the integration, the real powerful piece is just that sharing of the information. So a customer gets input into your point of sale, it can push over directly into Clientbook. And at that point, you're off clienteling to them and getting them back as repeat customers. Okay. That's the whole trick to it. The music space is interesting, and we've talked about this a number of times. It's just dominated by the Guitar Centers and Sweetwater and maybe one or two others. The only way to survive is to really, really provide that high level of customer service. So yeah, we're very, very excited about this partnership. We feel like this is a tool that's really going to make a difference in not only the lives of your salespeople, they'll have the tools that they need to follow up adequately and appropriately with their customers, but for you as a shop owner, being able to see a real difference in the customer service experience that your customers are going to have. So I do want to, we've got a few minutes left here, so I do want to open up Q&A. So if anybody wants to go in and feel free to punch in a question there, we can get it answered live for you. And then the other cool thing too is, like we'd mentioned, we're going to be out at NAMM, and so you can get a live demo of the product there as well. So any questions? You have any questions from anyone? I did a countdown, I think, last time, and we got some funny looking questions because people were really hurrying to try to get it out there before we closed up the Q&A. So this webinar is being recorded. We had issues with Zoom last time, and it was not recorded, and weren't able to make that available to anybody. But this one I can see is recording, so we will make this available afterwards as well. Okay, we've got some questions we can answer. So Rebecca wants to know, is this already a live integration that we can start using, or what else, or else what is the timeline? So yes, this is a live integration. So it's actually been in the works for a number of months. So just to give everybody a little bit of background. So again, there's a number of kind of sister softwares to Music Shop 360. Most of you are probably aware of that already. And Clientbook has been working very closely with our Jewel 360 platform, okay, a platform that works with jewelry stores. There's some really kind of unique needs that the jewelry industry has that are actually pretty in common with the music space, which is why we're excited about this. Really high-end offerings and that need to provide a really awesome customer experience. And so they've been testing with Jewel 360 for a good number of months, and we feel like now is the right time to kind of launch it and get it ready to go live for music. So it's been in the works for a number of months, and yeah, it's live, it's ready to go. So really kind of what Rebecca, kind of what your timeline would be is you'll want to connect with Clientbook. So you can do that out at NAMM if you're going to be at NAMM, or you can follow the link that Ryan put up for us and request a demo directly through Clientbook, and they can provide you with a kind of a customized demo. Either way, so once you have that, then we'll kind of get it plugged in for you, and it will start that integration, pushing the information back and forth. So everybody from Josh's team, I think, is labeled Josh. So I'm just going to say we have someone from Josh's team asking, will the gift registry from Rain customer accounts be accessible from QuickBooks? Yes. So this is one of the really awesome tools is you can have, so it's actually, the verbiage isn't quite the same as gift registry. I'm trying to think of the exact verbiage that we use, but essentially it's the same idea. It's kind of a wish list, or it's a unique list. That's what we call it, a tailored list. How am I having a hard time remembering that? My name's Taylor. It's a tailored list in Rain. That's something that you can go in and turn on right now, and that's going to be what pushes over into Clientbook. Okay, and so in Clientbook, you'll have those lists tied to a customer that your associates can then clientele from, which is awesome. Okay, Lorraine wants to know, so a customer comes in and is interested in a guitar but doesn't buy, what's the procedure? I'll kick that over to you, Ryan. So
Yeah,
what
I was going
do
to
you
say
suggest?
I could take that. Since Clientbook is built off customer profiles, Lorraine, it's really a simple one push of a button and a sales opportunity is then created for that customer. And what happens is the Clientbook will not let you forget that there is something for that customer, that there's a sales opportunity out there, and it'll remind you to follow up with them. And this may seem simple, right? But we know in retail, if somebody walks out the door and we're on to the next customer, we have very little time to follow up with people, and our lives are just hectic. So this does kind of two things. One, you will not forget. It'll enable you to follow up. And then two, it'll help your ownership or manager. They'll also have insights to that. So they'll be able to gently remind you, or you'll be able to remind your associates of, hey, we had that person come in, that was a $5,000 sale. Let's make sure we're following up with them. And that's really the key to a lot of this, is following up. It's amazing what will happen if we just follow up more consistently with our clients.
Okay, we have a question from Mike, wants to know, desktop version of Clientbook, is the reminder a notification, or how does it remind us?
Yeah, desktop works very similar to how the app works. So Clientbook can be used on an Android device or an iOS device, but it could also be used on a desktop. And so the interfaces might look a little bit different, and they deliver your notifications and reminders just a tad bit different. The system overall works the same.
Okay. Looks like that's the end of the open questions. We'll give it another. Oh, we got one from Maria. Okay. Maria says, we like all we hear with all these concepts. As we grow toward Clientbook strategies, one, the less time we spend on new product entry on industry staples such as picks and strings from the big manufacturers like Ernie Ball, D'Addario, Dunlop, etc., with current map pricing photos, etc., the more time we can spend with customer service. Will more catalogs be updated more frequently? That's a question for Music Shop 360. Yeah, so let me give you a little bit of background on the vendor catalogs. Okay, so historically, when we very first kind of rolled out the vendor catalog idea, we had a team that all they did was it's called scraping. They went and scraped data from vendor websites. And that's the way we got a lot of information initially. That is the least efficient and most inaccurate, or least accurate, I should say, way of getting good product data. Kind of the next step from there, a lot of our customers have approached their vendors and said, hey, we work with Music Shop 360. They have this catalog feature. We want your catalog in there as well. Your vendors are a lot of times willing to give you the Excel file or CSV file with their product information. If you get that over to us, our team will go in and get that uploaded. And we go one of two directions. If that information that's being supplied by your vendor to you, that you then pass on to us, if it has good descriptions and it has good images, then we'll actually make that available to all Music Shop 360 users. If it doesn't, it's got some missing stuff or it's not quite where we'd want it to be, then we will upload it just directly into your account that you can then draw off. Okay. And that has happened a lot more frequently recently. The third and best way that those catalog integrations happen is we actually have API tools that vendors can plug directly into. So there's a handful that do this now, like Alfred, Hal Leonard, Korg, PV, Diodario. There's a number of them who are actively live pushing over catalog information. And that's the very best and most accurate way for that to get in there. So I guess what I'm saying is we are kind of at the mercy of you guys and the vendors. We have a lot of interest in getting as much catalog data in there as possible. So, it's our job to go get it. I'm not trying to task you guys with this, but if there's somebody that you're really pressing to get in there, really want to have in there, probably your best thing you can do is contact your vendor up and say, hey, we want to get this catalog information. Please, connect with Music Shop 360. I'm happy to develop those relationships as well. So if you loop me in, I can connect with them and we can get kind of the two, the smarter people on the horn, the programmers, and get everything plugged in there. We are out at NAM, actually. Sorry, I'm going on about this, Maria, but we are out at NAM. We've got a pretty good, aggressive campaign or initiative to connect more with vendors to have them plug their stuff directly into our platform. And so we're really hoping to be able to turn a corner on that as well. Okay, now what that's then going to do, so your next question is, so how will that impact Clientbook? So it's going to push that information from the point of sale over into Clientbook so that you can then manage those products with unique customers in that regard as well. So yeah, the vendor catalogs will be a big part of that. Okay. Karen wants to know, are there how-to use videos? That would be probably a question for Ryan. The live. So you guys at Williamson, you guys are already using Clientbook or have started using Clientbook, but need some additional video information or training, it sounds like. Ryan, I'll pass you Williamson information after this, and maybe you can connect with them and get them set up with some video information. I think they were actually chatting with support today about it. So
cool.
We'll get you set up, Karen. Let's see, Maria wants to add, let's see, on Clientbook, it sounds like there is a solid understanding of what little shops like ours experience. Is Clientbook working with a group independent music store owners? So I guess all I can do is ask Ryan, are you guys working with the group independent music store owners? Man, I'm having a rough time here.
We're not, Maria, but we would love, we love presenting to different associations or, helping out any way that we can. So again, if Taylor, if you pass Maria's information over, I'm happy to shoot you an email and introduce myself to your group, and we'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I think Maria, we're planning on seeing you out at NAM too, so we can definitely make the connection there too. But I'll get your information sent over to Ryan's team, and they can connect with you there and see if we can get you guys connected. So that'll be good. Any other questions? I will give it another just handful of seconds here. Let me clear some of these out. All right, Mike Milsom, I'm going to give you the countdown here. Okay. Shutting down the queue. Oh, Mike's good. Mike doesn't have any, and it was typed correctly. So Mike's having a good day. Okay. No questions. Well, I want to thank everybody for hopping in. And we're really excited to see you guys out at NAM. Please, again, feel free to stop by. Again, we've got some really great webinars coming up as well. Hopefully we're going to be doing something with Reverb, which will be really interesting. And then some product webinars too. We've done mostly partnership webinars, but I think we're going to start moving into some product webinars and doing some education that way too. So again, thanks everybody. I'll get this posted online and you'll be able to go back and review, but thanks. I want to give a special thanks to Ryan and his team over at Clientbook for stepping in today and giving us some education, and look forward to working with everybody.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone. Have a good day.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.